Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nitty Gritty to Balance podcast. I'm your host, Abigail, and joining us each episode is my mom, Stacy, a holistic health coach and intuitive. Each week, we discuss topics through the lens of her work and subspecialties to bring to light the balance in the everyday. So with that, let's bring in the brains behind the balance and get this episode started. Welcome into today's episode, everyone. Today is kind of just chatting about 2025 and how that was for us with the podcast recording. We finally launched our podcast this year. You know, we've been sitting and recording episodes, but we finally got our episodes out to our listeners. And so today we're really just kind of chatting, recapping just briefly about 2025, and then we have some highlight reels for you guys also to enjoy, just some short clips from some episodes throughout this year,
throughout the year,
to leave you with some little nuggets of wisdom from our episodes.
Yeah, in case there's any that somebody didn't get to listen to, then that might spark some interest, and maybe people can finish listening before we launch a whole new year.
I know. It's so exciting. Yeah, it's definitely crazy to think back and reflect on what this year has been for the collective. But, I mean, even more granular than that, really looking at it for how this year has gone for ourselves.
Yeah, and when you were talking about that we finally launched, which we did in July, but it brought back the memory that we had started recording in 2024.
Yes.
And that's
in July.
It seems like we've been doing this for so long, but they've only been released for 6 months.
I know.
But it's like a year and a half.
Yeah.
That we actually been working on them.
Yeah. Yeah, that we've actually been putting these episodes together. And it's interesting too, of course, how the episodes have evolved.
Yes.
I mean, I love so much, you know, we've really expanded a lot on the four bodies and how our episodes and our talking points, how nearly everything can be filtered through the four bodies, which is the core of what you're doing.
Yes.
And yeah, I love that a lot of our episodes this year were framed in that way. And I think...
And just how much we have learned.
Yeah.
With incorporating that even in our everyday.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so interesting to sit here and talk about it and try to explain some of these concepts. But actually doing it, living it every day.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to just see how it has evolved for me and for you. And hopefully the listeners can start seeing it in their life.
Yeah. What I love so much about our podcast is, you know, you can come up with a concept for something or an idea for something or, you know, a belief that you want to share. And it's just so interesting to have to take that from just your thoughts and make it a full thought, a conversation, and in a way that you can explain for people to understand.
Yes.
Is really fun. Yeah. And it's fun to get to sit here. We were kind of talking about this a few weeks ago, just reflecting on our episodes. But I love getting to sit here and you bring a topic to me and basically you get to kind of teach me about what our episode is, and then we're able to just chat about it and have a conversation. And
and I get to ask all the time, does that make sense?
And to me, it
does. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully most of what we speak of makes some sense.
It's landing for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah,
hopefully.
definitely. No, but I do. I love it so much. I love that. And even, you know, some episodes we have to sit down and really ask ourselves, what does this episode mean? What message am I trying to get out there?
Mm-hmm.
And when I say message, I'm trying to get out there, a lot of our episodes teach us first
Yeah.
before, we record them and send them out for everyone to listen to. So every episode
Mm-hmm.
for us even is a fun learning experience.
Absolutely. And I've got to always, as our name, Nitty Gritty to Balance, need to make sure that we are pulling out the core of our topic, the grit of the topic. And then I love the ending where we just come around to the balance and kind of wrap it up and give kind of a main focus to pull from that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's fun. It feels very well rounded.
Yeah. And I think that I love that we have that solid, core to our episodes because it does. Our goal with every episode is to leave everyone with maybe some new questions that they want answers to. And that's the fun part, is you get to go and look for those answers and find those answers.
Investigate it for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's certainly something that I've enjoyed a lot throughout this year, is just finding questions that I don't know the answer to, but I get to sit for a moment and be with myself and ask myself, what does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
How does this feel? And just learn more about myself. I feel
Absolutely.
like personally I've done a lot of growth this year.
Yeah, I think we definitely have. And I hope the listeners have definitely gotten some growth from what the topics that we've brought and what we've put out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I certainly do. I hope you guys get as much as we do from our episodes.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
And with that, enjoy our little clip montage. And hopefully, if it's not one that you got to listen to yet, it'll spark that interest.
Yeah.
Go take a listen and
enjoy.
How do we seek balance is the big question of today.
Yeah, and we're going to get to all the ins and outs of this. So yeah, we've got a lot to discuss, and I think I really do think that this is going to be an impactful episode.
Yeah.
I think it can really help people navigate and have a little more clarity on really what this can look or feel like in life. So
yeah, and why we incorporate it at the end of every episode.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Why do we say that?
Yeah. I do really like how we format these episodes, because we are digging up some confusion, some questions, we're digging up some nitty gritty, but I like that we really try to bring it full circle for our listeners by finding some of the balance for them, but then also leaving them with the question of how can they find more balance in this?
Yeah,
because
they have to do the work.
Yes.
Yeah, as we all do.
And this episode is just diving into what that balance is, what it can look like. Yeah,
and kind of what exactly does that mean?
Balance.
Yeah. So to get into the nitty gritty, let's just start it. Balance, in definition as a noun, is the ability to maintain an upright posture and distribute weight to move or stand without falling. It's a complex system that involves the brain, inner ear, eyes, muscles, joints, and bones. And I bring this up as the noun first because balance in life is also complex with a lot of moving parts, so we don't fall apart.
Yeah.
Today we are chatting about the 4 bodies. Now, we've kind of hinted at the 4 bodies, and we've touched on them briefly in previous episodes. But in this conversation, we are truly taking a deep look and a deep dive on why they're so important, what they are, and how they're used in the health coaching program and the balance. Mom, I want you to give everyone listening like a quick snapshot of what the 4 bodies are, if they haven't heard previous episodes where we've mentioned them.
Sure. Okay. First, I'm so excited
Yes.
about this episode.
Yes.
This is hopefully going to be so impactful
Mm-hmm.
to our listeners,
Mm-hmm.
which is what we want to do. We want to impact lives, change lives, perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think we say that every episode.
We do.
And this one's no different. This is exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So, the 4 bodies
Mm-hmm.
and what my business is all about incorporating.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have our spiritual body, we have our emotional body, our mental body, and our physical body.
Yeah.
And those are our 4 bodies.
I love how they are individual. They each are made up of their own body.
Mm-hmm.
We don't necessarily think of them, as layers to us. And I think that's what today's episode really is about, is kind of uncovering the different layers and how they stack on top of each other and how they melt in together and just how they make up us as beings.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so interesting how we do speak of them differently.
Mm-hmm.
We do kind of categorize them,
Mm-hmm.
but they are all one.
Yeah.
They do make up a whole.
They do.
It's the frequency of each of them, the harmonic of each of them
Mm-hmm.
that then play this complete tune or chord.
Yeah.
And if we can think of, as we discuss, as we talk through them, as just this musical
Mm-hmm.
tone
Yeah.
or chord, it just adds a little bit more depth and beauty
Mm-hmm.
to us and to these layers.
Yeah. Because while our goal today is to break them down, as you said, they are all connected and they weave in and out of each other. And we want to be able to really break this down and really explain to everyone what they are and how they work and the beauty of them. And I like how it's almost like, like this beautiful musical that is how we are and how we present.
Yeah. And another way that I want to set the stage in looking at this as we move through these is not linear.
Mm-hmm.
And we are not going to look at these linear. We are going to look at these in a spiral. And so if we can also get that visualization of this spiral with these layers,
Mm-hmm.
we also then can keep in mind the whole way that we're talking through this, how they meld together.
Yeah.
Which is just so important. We're going to speak of them as individually, but they are not. They are one.
Yeah.
We were talking about something that had sparked in you from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Abigail, it is not, they didn't make you feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
You felt this way because of something in your past triggered this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you go and figure out it's not for this person that triggered this. It's not them to solve this or something that they have to change. You've got to understand in yourself, why did this get triggered? Where did it come from? And that's where you're going to put your focus, where it came from.
Right. I see how you're feeling this. And we do get so trapped in the short-term view of things, which is what I was stuck in. Mm-hmm. I was stuck in that short-term, like, this person did this, so I have feelings towards this person. But that's not what it is. Unfortunately, this person sparked these feelings up again, but they came from someone or somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's my job and my duty, my responsibility for myself to dig back and do some investigation on where that originally came from. Because I've been walking on this earth for 26 years. This can't be the first time that this feeling has come up for me.
Very good point. Absolutely. Yeah.
it's the most recent one, so my brain has to think this
person did it.
This person is the issue for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This person. Yeah. That's so interesting.
And that's the trap of putting the blame and the responsibility on this outside source.
Yeah.
But with what we're touching on here, if you say, oh, wait, no, that was the trigger, the source is within me, and now I've got to go back and figure out what that is. And that's what I process. Because I don't want to say fix.
Right.
There may not be anything to fix. It's just I've got to now process that and figure out what is this deep emotion, and how do I start resolving that and figuring that out. And once you do that, once you start doing that work, now the relationship with this person that just triggered it starts to change.
Yeah, and at the same time, I owe that to myself.
Definitely.
I owe myself that time to go backwards and sit with myself and reflect and think and, like I said, do some investigation. I owe that to myself and my inner child, if that's where it takes me. I owe that to myself. And I think, of course, for our listeners too, you owe that to yourself.
It's a reflection of a world we are already living in. Many of us are moving through life on autopilot, reacting instead of creating, thinking thoughts planted by someone else, losing our unique resonance to the background hum of programming. Today, we're going to explore what we call the silent zombie era. Not a world of the undead, but a world of disconnection and loss of self. This silent zombie symbolizes a loss of meaning, embodying vacancy in modern life, which fits this decade's sense of directionlessness. This isn't about monsters, not about undead horror, but something quieter and more dangerous, the slow drift away from our own presence.
The points in today's episode draw on observable phenomena and aim to provoke thought about the state of society we already live in.
And just as importantly, we will balance each point with how you, the individual, can wake up from it all.
You say good when someone asks how you are without checking first. At night, you lie in bed exhausted, but your mind is still scrolling. Not the screen, but your thoughts on autoplay. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, the original thinker, you, has gone very, very quiet.
You are not the noise, you are the silence beneath it.
You are not the thought, you are the vessel in which the thought arises.
Let's center all of this with the breath to clear the noise. Eyes open or closed. Inhale slowly. As you exhale, imagine the noise softening. In the silence, whisper inwardly, I get to choose my thoughts. If I pause with one breath, the thoughts can change. Sit in that silence. Breathe there. Change the mental load. With your eyes open or closed, ask yourself, what do I not let myself feel? Anger, grief, calm, bitterness, peace? Whisper that. Acknowledge that part of you. Inhale and say inwardly, it's okay to feel this. Exhale and say, this is me feeling. Repeat once more, letting the breath carry the feeling without judgment. It's okay to feel this. This is me feeling.
And I think gratitude, of course, is the perfect one to move into first because it is that state of being. It is that embodiment, like you said. And to be grateful is to feel and to express this type of emotion. There's not necessarily an action that goes along with it. It's, the sense of being grateful within the body. And that can be, that can pertain to people, experiences, our everyday comforts. We can be grateful for, all of these items. And truthfully, at its core, gratitude is awareness. To have, I think about often, when you're practicing intuition, you're essentially practicing a muscle, right? I see it as you have to understand where this feeling comes from in the body. And so that awareness is understanding where that gratitude sits in your body.
Yeah, that's so interesting that you're bringing that up because that's a
Really?
piece that I was thinking about when
Mhm.
we were bringing these topics up is,
Yeah.
yes, where do you feel gratitude? And I
Mhm.
don't know, does everybody kind of feel it in the same
Right.
area of the body?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where would you say you feel gratitude most?
Definitely
Mhm.
the heart space.
Yeah.
But if I can expand,
Mhm.
I mean, I definitely could see that people could feel it in the throat
Okay.
chakra area,
Yeah.
singing, vocalizing, poetry. It can be an expression
Uh-huh.
that way, but also very mentally.
Mm.
People can really have just these ideas of gratitude and just
Yeah.
really think more about it than maybe the filling of the heart. I
Interesting.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. But something important that I wanted to point out in talking about gratitude is that it's often found in things outside of ourselves. So that would be, people, that would be experiences, nature, God, the universe. It's typically going to be found in these external things that kind of fill up our internal cup in a
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very true. It's so funny. I used to have my gratitude practice when I would go to sleep.
Okay.
I would just before I fall asleep, I would kind of run through the day or just what came up for me and
Hmm.
what I was grateful for. And so I think that moves us beautifully into our next little piece on forgiveness. And this can be such a hard word for people, and a
Yeah.
lot of people have pushback on the word forgiveness. And the important thing to know about forgiveness is that it's not just about words.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I forgive you. Don't worry about that. It is so much more. And it's not the forgive and forget and trying to erase what happened. It's not about any of that. And forgiveness is about freedom and peace.
Because if you think about it too, like what you just mentioned, if you're just, you know, responding with words, it's fine, don't worry about it. Whatever feelings you have inside, those statements are just pushing it down.
Mm,
And you're kind of telling yourself and your nervous system to just forget about it. Doesn't matter.
right.
But you're not allowing yourself to fully feel the scope of emotions, to allow it to work through the body and allow yourself to forgive.
Yes. And it's from a place of self care and reclaiming all of you.
Yeah.
That's really what forgiveness is about, is just having that space back and not carrying that weight. And we're going to walk through a little process on how to navigate through almost coming to completion with forgiveness, because it is a process.
Yeah.
This may be something that has been with you for decades, whether you did something to somebody that you're not letting yourself get over, or somebody maybe did something to you.
Yeah.
And so it's important to kind of understand what that process looks like to help fully release it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so this is kind of multi-layered, as a lot of what we do. It's going to be healing and growth and mindfulness.
Yeah. We just want to recontextualize forgiveness for everyone listening and kind of give you something, to really grasp onto to bring yourself through the act and the action of forgiveness.
People will say, I feel sad or I am sad.
Mm-hmm.
And they're two different things. And so a feeling is, or an emotion is a feeling or a sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, I am, is a state of being.
Right.
That's almost like an action.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the feeling or the sensation of an emotion, when you say, I feel sad, what would be your response?
More inquisitive, more of a question.
Exactly.
Why?
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Why are you sad?
Mm-hmm.
But if I say, I'm depressed today, what would that make you say?
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, don't be depressed.
Exactly.
If you're saying, yeah, it's almost like I'm choosing to be down. I'm choosing this being.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Choosing an action.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're not that.
Mm-hmm.
The I am is the embodiment of it.
Right.
It's the being of that. And we aren't.
Yeah.
We aren't our emotions. We feel our emotions. They are sensations in our body.
Yeah.
Totally different.
And kind of going back to, that ebb and flow of emotions. When we're in, feeling the sensations of an emotion, we're feeling a certain emotion, we're not necessarily stuck in that. It's going to ebb and flow. We're going to feel the intense portion of that emotion, and it'll start to fade out, and, our day will redirect, and, we'll get distracted in a certain way, and then our emotion changes, and it's just, that back and forth and that constant changing.
Exactly. Right. When we say, I feel this way, it allows us to move in and out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If we say, I am this, again, it takes us back into that embodiment of that is us.
Right. Moving on from the heart and moving into the liver.
This organ stores a lot of emotional energy, and this is where people put a lot of their emotional energy. So here you can have anger, frustration, irritability, bitterness gets stored in the liver.
Wow.
The liver likes healthy assertiveness, courage, and direction.
Wow.
Powerful.
Very powerful. Courage, direction. Yeah.
Assertiveness, healthy assertiveness. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of power, a lot of chi, which is energy, stored and comes from the liver.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a very important organ.
Yeah. We hope you all enjoyed those clips and reels from throughout 2025. Yeah, if there's any episodes in there or any clips that you don't recognize, definitely go back and watch the full-length episodes, because we have some really great ones out there.
There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah. And, even reflecting back into the year, I love listening to our older episodes. And it's interesting, like, being in different timelines, basically, like hearing what we talked about, what was said in old episodes, of course, now that we've been recording for over a year and a half, and being able to gain knowledge or another
topic of thinking or place to investigate or whatever from over a year ago now is really fun.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing, is that going back and listening to those episodes, because I have to review them, before they go out. And in doing that, I can pick out, wow, we can really expand on this.
Yes.
We can really go in this direction with that topic. And so I think coming up, we will expand on some of those episodes.
Yeah.
Which will be really, really neat.
Yeah, absolutely. There certainly are some episodes where, yeah, we can pull so much out of and craft, even more and expand off of some of our previous episodes. And we always mention, oh, we should do an episode on this. Oh, we should do an episode on that.
Yeah.
As we're sitting and having these conversations, because, they can just be endless.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about over here at NGB.
There is. And I do want to put in here, as 2025 has wrapped up and we're moving into 2026, all the things that we have learned from 2025 as we reflect back and possibly look at challenges and struggles and our growth and what we've learned, is to keep in mind that 2025 needs to weave in to 2026.
That's beautiful.
A lot of times we feel like it's the end of the year and it stops, and 2026 starts and it's just something new. But we have to take all of that, especially a year like 2025 was, with being a 9-year.
You're so right.
It has to weave in. We have to gently come out of that and gently move into the new beginnings. And so we can't lose any of that. It has to come with us. But as we know, with the 9-year, it does ask us to leave baggage behind. And so it's important to reflect and see what's going to move with you and what is going to stay behind.
Yeah.
And let it weave in.
Yeah. I really like that idea, because you're so right. People do almost like cutting a rope. Like, okay, we're done. This year is over. Yeah. And then you it's almost like we expect to then turn around on New Year's Day and everything's different. We're different people and
new goals, new
go.
Insights, new forward momentum. But
really, yeah, if at the core of it, if we're thinking and reflecting back on the last 365 days that we've had, those memories, those days, those hardships, whatever you went through, it's going to come with you. And
not all of them, but
not all of them,
but some of them. Yes.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, weaving this past year into this new year.
Yes. So just keep your balance and have grace for yourself as everybody moves into 2026 and reflect and just move with ease.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for tuning into this special wrap-up episode of 2025. If you have any questions for us, of course, leave them down below. We'd love to answer any questions you have. And as always, reach out to Stacy, take a look at her services. If there's anything in there that catches your eye, let us know.
Yes, things will be changing, but it's very exciting.
Yeah.
And can't wait to continue all of this and more in 2026.
Can't wait to see what 2026 has to bring all of us. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Be well.
And be balanced.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening. This episode is for educational purposes only. The information is not intended to give medical advice or therapy. Please consult with a licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Also know that you are responsible for your life choices and circumstances. Until next time,
be well
and be balanced. Bye.
Bye.